From the PGA Tour, it is Jake Knapp. Hi, Jake.
How we doing?
Thanks for, how about a round of applause for Jake?
Yeah. Hey, Jake.
Flew all night to get here. Wisely, you did not have Scotty Scheffler drive you here.
Oh. Yep.
I believe you got here on your own.
Got here safe and sound. No stops.
Now you have one win on the tour.
Yep.
Is that, I know you won $1.6 million or whatever. Is that enough to fly private, or are you still a commercial guy?
Yeah, I'm still a commercial guy.
Okay,
I
good.
like to live, dangerously and fly that route when I have to.
First class, lay flat beds?
Not a lay flat bed, but nice first class seat.
Jeez.
Okay.
Can't complain.
First, pleasey.
All right, awesome. This show is on Twitch, and I know you're a big Twitch gamer. Shime is very excited about that. I mean, I want to talk golf, but I think Shime wants to talk gaming. And Wiggy too.
Yeah, what game do you play?
Any first person shooter.
COD?
I'll play Call of Duty, I'll play Apex, and then if I need to just kind of take it a little slower, I'll play either NFL, PGA, something like that.
How are you at the PGA video game as opposed to in the actual PGA Tour yourself?
Not as good as some, that's for sure. I'm definitely not at the highest level, but I'm pretty good.
Do you play as yourself?
It's kind of like you play as your own character.
Right.
So kind of play as my own guy, and then I think the inside scoop, I know the courses pretty well, so I think that gives me a little bit of an edge.
Are you a big trash talker while gaming?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
the
is
only way to
Wiggy.
do it.
Hell yeah. You know how many 12-year-olds I put in their place? After I
What a humble brag.
beat them in the gulag.
Yeah.
Who else games on the tour?
Mickelson?
Minwoo Lee's a big gamer. I know that for sure. I think Kurt Kitayama plays a good amount. I mean, pretty high number. I'm sure more people than you would assume play in their downtime. It's just something easy to do at night and stay in contact with buddies you don't get to talk to. So
Yeah. We were talking about you got your first win in February, but not that, or very recently to that, you were a bouncer?
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't look. I mean, Wiggy. Could you throw Wiggy out?
No, we got
the club.
We got bigger guys, but I don't think anybody would really,
I mean, I started out as a bouncer, too, so I know exactly where you're going.
I was
Slam
more
his
the
patio.
I was the de-escalator. I was the nice guy. Just trying to go up
That's
and
it.
talk to him first.
right.
Maybe the bigger guys behind me, but
That's
you
like
were the
that.
Swayze.
Yeah, he was the Swayze.
Have you ever name called anybody trying to get into a bar?
name called anybody. What do you
Yeah,
mean?
like called somebody a bad name.
Courtney had a bad experience.
No.
Yeah.
with the
Yeah,
bouncer.
recently.
Yes.
Bad
I try to be
experience.
as respectful as I
Right.
can.
So
Yeah.
where were you bouncing?
It was a place called the Country Club in Costa Mesa. It was kind of like a nice bar restaurant that then on like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we kind of like shut down for 20 minutes, turn it over into a nightclub and
Yeah.
do bottle service and the whole deal.
That's cool.
Did you think at that time? I mean, I'm sure it was your goal, but did you think you were going to make it, or were you like some guys get close to the point of giving up? And did you always think you were going to make it?
I think I always not that I always knew, but it was just like there's nothing else I wanted to do. So it's like I knew that there was the only path for me. It was just a matter of like, all right, it's a little bump in the road. Just got to make some money, keep floating, and we'll get there eventually. But yeah, I mean, kind of watching guys on TV as you're working or watching highlights, and you're just like, how is that going to be me when I'm here? Because nobody else has really done this. So what kind of makes me think that I'm going to be out there? But you just stick to it and good things will happen.
The family support must be insane, though, going through that, waiting for it. And I know after your win, you talked about your grandfather, who you lost. So
Yeah.
just the support of your family around you as you were waiting to make that big break, that must...
For sure. It was huge. Yeah, no, my family's been great. I mean, even, my family's not super wealthy or anything like that, but my brother even said, he was just like, how much are you looking to make doing this, like each weekend or whatever? And I'm like, oh, X amount of dollars, just make sure like at least my home living expenses are paid for. And he's like, I'll help you. I'm just like, no handouts. I was like, I'm not taking any handouts. So I'm like, this is my gig. I'm doing it. Like, if this is still something, because I was 27 and still hadn't made like a ton of money up to that point. So I was like, I need to be able to support myself.
How much? Because it's interesting to me as somebody who kind of.
Well, let's be honest. As somebody who is a former professional athlete who has zero respect for the sport.
Well, no. I say I don't think
let's get to that.
I say I don't think they're athletes, but that's different.
Yes.
But I do respect the journey, though.
Let's clear this up.
Yeah.
He doesn't believe you're athletes.
I don't believe all of us are.
Oh,
okay. But I do.
I think I am.
You are.
Yeah.
But I do respect the journey as somebody who was undrafted. But in the NFL, that's all you got is the NFL. There's no other professional league. I mean, there's a couple now, but where you can make a living, because you talked about making a living. how much practice do you put in a week to say, okay, I can make a living doing this. I can make $150,000 a year doing this and playing professional golf. Like, how much, were you good in high school? Were you good in college? Like, because I always wonder the journey.
How you get there, the journey.
Yeah, for for golfers, because we all see the Tiger Woods journey, but he's
For
like
sure.
a rare, a rare butterfly.
Yeah, I mean, I think growing up in Southern California, it's like one of those places you can play year-round. So, like, it's some of the best competition in the country. So if you're good in Southern California, you're going to beat just about everybody else in every other state, with the exception to, like, there's good players in Arizona, Texas, Florida, but those are kind of the core ones where that's where a lot of the good players come from. So I knew once I was a good junior player in Southern California, and I was kind of like one of the guys to beat most of the time growing up. And then you get into college. The thing is, in college, now you're playing against every best player like that from every city and every state, whatever, over the last 4 years. So now everybody, and plus some international kids too. Mm-hmm. So I was okay in college. I had a really good year my junior year, and then I decided to turn pro after that junior year, because it's not that I didn't think or I thought I was too good to be in college or anything like that. I felt ready to get on to the next level. I just knew I wanted to play professionally. It was all I wanted to do, and I just didn't see myself spending another 8 months there just kind of going to school. School was never my thing. I just wanted to play golf.
So when you finish your junior year and you do that, how's your 21, 22?
Yep. Yeah, 21.
And how old are you today?
30.
So what's one of those 9 years in between where you are and where you were then? How many different tours were you in? Are you traveling the world? What's your life like?
Yeah, I went straight up that summer, so I turned pro pretty much right after Q school, pretty much like January of 2016. Went straight into Q school, didn't get through. Went and did Canadian Q school, didn't get through. Went and did Canadian Tour Monday qualifiers, got into a few events. Went back to Q school for Canadian Tour in 2017. Won Q school, played in 17 up there. Didn't have a great year, ended up like hurting my back, so I took some events off. Played a full season up there again in 2018, because that's the route. You can do Latin America or Canadian, then you go to Corn Ferry, then you go to the PGA Tour. So I played up in Canada again in 18, and I felt super ready, super prepared, healthy, everything's ready to go. Played terrible, lost my status. So
what was it? The yips?
It was just bad. I don't even know. It was like
Shime can relate.
Did you not keep your shoulder in?
Yeah, apparently not. My glutes weren't activating. I don't know what was
Your
happening.
head wasn't down the whole time.
Yeah.
I hate that.
So you can't just go to a tournament when you're
just show
professional. Well, I know
No, Greg cannot
So,
just show up.
because I don't know what Q school is.
So anybody can sign up and say that they're professional if you want to. Professional just means that you're finally able to accept money when you play well enough at a tournament. But no, you can't just show up. There's mini tour events you can do that too. Mini tour events are just, you're basically paying for that purse. So at a Canadian tour event, you're going to pay $250 for the week to play in the event. At a mini tour event for 3 days, you might pay $900, $1,200 just to play in the tournament, because it's the players. You're basically just gambling against those guys, and there's just a few guys running the event that are booking the tee times, letting you guys play against each other for 10 grand, 15 grand, whatever it might be. But then, you go to the Canadian Tour, the Q school basically is just a qualifying staging where you have to go and play well enough for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and that determines your status for the season. So it might be 170 guys at this Q school. If you don't finish in the top 30, you got no job next year. So,
Speaking of wagering, playing around with your buds.
Yeah.
What do you play? Are you Wolf or what?
Yeah, we used to play Wolf a lot.
I love Wolf.
Yeah, Wolf was.
I like being the lone wolf.
I do too.
Yeah,
that was always
same.
good. I was always a little bit better than my buddies who I was playing against. The unfortunate thing is I always got chosen by them, and if I missed the fairway, it didn't matter. So I'm going to take Jake. And I'm like, I don't birdie every single hole, so maybe take so and so who's in the fairway. But yeah, we usually play games like Wolf or things like that. Keep it interesting.
Has that journey, the people that are in it right now and haven't maybe broken into the PGA Tour, does LIV help out or hurt those people that are on that track?
I think LIV is somewhat helped in a way, just in terms of it's taken people away from the PGA Tour that route. So maybe it's opened up some opportunities for some guys who maybe didn't have the chance, or maybe it's weakened a few fields here and there. So I'd say maybe it's helped in a sense, but I wouldn't say it's helped drastically. Maybe it's taken more guys over to Europe to try to get into that system.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm not really sure.
Some guys on the tour appear to be upset with the LIV guys. Are you?
No, I'm not. I mean, I'm still friends with guys who are out there. I have buddies who caddy out there. I don't, I mean, I think at the beginning everybody was a little upset because people said this is for like the betterment of the game and that sort of thing. It's like, no, it's not. Like, you're accepting it because it's a lot of money, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
Like, if there's a certain amount of money out there, everybody kind of has their own price in their head. So,
But you don't think they should have to, like John Rahm should not have to pay it back to come back on the tour?
well, I mean, there's things like that. I mean,
Well, maybe
if he's going to accept $500 million and then just if he thinks everybody's just going to welcome back with open arms, I think that's a bit crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Do you is it possible, because I don't know much about golf, but is it possible, do you have to make the or do you have to play on the PGA Tour, or are there other places that you can play and make a good living that might not be the PGA Tour? Like in basketball,
For sure.
a lot of
minus
people go,
live.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
other-
like
other
minus
than
live,
live.
So like Corn Ferry, Canadian Tour. So like the Corn Ferry, to give you an idea, their purses now are like 1.5 million every single week. So like if you win, you get like 300 grand ish or something like that.
Wow.
I want to say. But those top 30 guys are going to the PGA Tour. So if you finish top 30, like, yeah, you've had a good year, you've made some money. But I mean, I finished 13th, and I think I made like 360. But like the difference with us is like we pay all our own travel. You have to pay your caddy. Like the expenses are 10x what everybody thinks that they are.
Really?
Yeah. So especially PGA Tour events. PGA Tour events are even worse because at least with Corn Ferry events, you're kind of just going and playing in a tournament. The people who come to watch all kind of just live in the area. PGA Tour events like destination. So people are coming in from out of town. They're booking every hotel, every Airbnb. So like everything just costs a lot more. Like everything. So and caddies are more expensive. Like you pay your caddy more on that tour. They get a percentage of your winnings as well.
Really?
Yeah.
It might be a stupid question, but I have a lot of those.
Yep.
No such thing.
Probably.
No, I know what a caddy is, but aren't you a better golfer than the caddy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Jason Tatum's a better basketball player than Joe Mazzulla.
But but like when Joe Mazzulla might be drawing up a play, like if you're
Right.
a better golfer than the caddy,
Why does he need the caddy?
Yeah, what is
Who's
he-
gonna? He doesn't want to carry his own clubs.
Yeah.
if that
And the
Well, you're
caddy
not going
reads.
to carry your
so
own
30%,
Caddy
I'll
reads the
carry the
green.
clubs for you
Yeah.
for 20%.
It's like a second. It's like getting a second opinion from a doctor.
For sure.
Am I right?
Like I have a buddy caddying for me on the PGA Tour. He played like lower level D1 college golf, so he's still a good golfer. And he knows the game well, and he knows me well. I personally you kind of have two routes. You can either go the buddy route, or you can go the professional caddy route. The professional caddy route, you're getting somebody who's probably been to the course a bunch over the last like 10, 15 years, something like that. So they've seen it a lot. And you're going to get more information from them, more like on-course help. For a buddy, for me, it's like you're spending 20-plus weeks with this guy throughout the year, and you're spending every single day, all day. You better like the person you're hanging out with that much.
Right.
So for me, I just wanted somebody I got along with,
You want
somebody
your
who knew
homeboy.
me. Yeah. So,
Speaking of courses, what was your first Masters experience like this year?
pretty surreal, especially going off. We were the first group off the first day. So that was pretty nuts. I think even just like the practice rounds, being able to just go there. You're allowed 5 visits, like unaccompanied visits, just to go whenever you want to get ready for the event. And I think even just that stuff was just like pretty spectacular. Like and it's just like that. You walk around certain holes out there and you start thinking about the shots and the history and everything else, and it just feels so surreal.
Did you meet anybody from the Illuminati while you were there?
A couple of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Be honest.
It's an interesting place.
Be honest. Did Jim Nance ever appear out of nowhere just talking to himself?
Just behind a tee box,
Right.
just randomly commentating on your random Tuesday practice round.
Just taking a nap in Butler Cabin.
Is
Peyton Manning walking
Oh,
around.
that's right. Goodell's always there, too.
is that your favorite course you've ever played? And what would be like a close second?
I think so. I think that one's probably first. I think after this year, I think Quail Hollow is probably my second pick.
What's the hardest course?
The hottest,
The
most
difficult.
the most difficult.
Yes.
Pinehurst this year for the U.S. Open was ridiculous.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And what makes
Because it was so fast.
Yeah, it was just impossible. Like the place, like the greens. So like, what makes a course difficult? It's like fast and firmness of like fairways and greens. Just because like once the ball lands and it starts rolling, if you can't control it, if it's just rolling, like there's just not much you can do. Severity of like the rough. So like if you miss hit a shot, what's your penalty like? And I mean, out there it was just 50-50. You have all these little bushes that are planted, so like you could end up in a perfect line in the sand, or just be dead behind a bush and have to chip out sideways.
Yeah.
And then just like the greens is just you take a bowl and you turn it upside down. That's what you're trying to hit on top of. So it's like if you don't hit your spot dead on perfect with the right, not only spin but the correct shape, height, everything, it was going to end up God knows where.
This tournament today at Lake of Isles, if you were going to go out, what would you shoot at Lake of Isles? Like, you're going to be automatic below par because it's not a tournament course?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. If I didn't shoot under 66 or 7, I don't know what the course is like at all, but if I don't shoot under 66 or
you're
something
pissed
like that,
at
that's
yourself.
pretty bad.
Yeah. That would be pretty bad.
That's like Chime.
That's what Chuck tells us.
And that, by the way, you're here because of EchoStor. They're a sponsor, but also so are the Anaheim Mighty Ducks.
Yeah. Yeah.
How did that happen?
I knew basically, I just knew some guys in the organization, the president and whatnot. He was a member at my home course. We always kind of joked about it. And then when I got on Korn Ferry for the first time, we were just like, yeah, why don't we just like kind of make this deal happen, throw the logo on the bag and the shirt. And that was in 2020. And it's been a pretty cool partnership ever since.
I hope you renegotiated that after you won the event in Mexico.
Somewhat. I get a good deal. You know, I get to go to hockey games. So they take care of me. They're the best people. We play. The president these days, he let my caddy stay at his house in Palm Springs for the event we had out there. Like they're more family now. It's pretty cool.
And after grinding it out for so long and then winning that event, 1.6 million. Which, by the way, do they Venmo that, or is that like? Does he get a big check, or how does that?
It's a nice direct deposit.
Oh,
Wow.
It just gets slapped in a week later.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Taxes out, or you have to pay taxes after?
No, you pay taxes later. What I'm doing right now.
Later?
It's fun.
Wait,
Oh.
you got like at your Bank of America account,
Yep.
you got a direct deposit of 1.6 million.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Is
great.
so cool.
Yeah.
How do you not?
That's like what Greg gets every 2
I
weeks.
called my brother after, and I looked at it, and I just was staring at it in my account. And I was like, "This is just a fake number. That's not even real."
Wow.
What did
Better
you?
pay them taxes.
Yeah.
What did you buy?
I mean, this house. I'm not a fancy guy. I have the same truck, and I bought off my truck. I guess that's what I bought.
You got
paid off my
you
truck.
Paid off your truck.
Yeah.
I love
Smart.
it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Who's the GOAT? Like in currently?
Yeah.
Like you know.
Wiggy's
There's
not a
the
golf guy.
Goat
No, I'm
means
not-
greatest of all time.
Yeah, like who would you say is the best golfer that's
Currently?
playing right
Right
now?
now?
Currently.
Scotty Scheffler.
Scotty Scheffler.
Okay.
Yeah. Xander's a close second right now, but Scotty's for sure.
And you're a third.
Yeah, I'm sneaking my way up
There
there
you
slowly
go.
but surely.
Who is the most misunderstood golfer? The guy that you got to know and you're like, wow, that's nothing like I thought he was before I started playing.
Oh, misunderstood. That's a good question.
Thank you.
Maybe Keegan Bradley.
Really? Local
Yeah.
guy?
I feel like he can get like since he's really fidgety and he can kind of take a long time. Sometimes he gets a bad rep, and he's the nicest guy ever.
Yeah.
So that's a funny thing is a lot of people want to know like who the bad guys are or whatever, and it's like I get the sense that those guys don't last very long out there because it's probably pretty lonely. Everybody out there is so cool. Like it's such a.
Even Tiger.
I mean, he keeps to himself a little
He
bit
does.
more. Yeah. I got to meet him. I did one of his events in Vegas for his foundation a couple months ago and got to meet him in person, which was pretty cool.
But it's not like so at Augusta when you're like when you're in the locker room, you guys aren't chatting and like.
Yeah, no, they definitely are. I mean, I think more so like kind of before the round when you're going like everybody's warming up, doing like PT and things like that. Everybody's kind of like laughing, joking. But there's also like kind of their own. Everybody has their own little cliques, you know, whether it's like young guys, older guys, like people from certain areas, like Ryder Cup teams, things like that. Like there's definitely groups that kind of stick together. But yeah, everybody's super friendly, especially like after I won, all of a sudden get into all the elevated events with all the big names and everybody like that. And like everybody was super nice to me and welcoming. It wasn't like they looked at me as like who is this guy? So that was cool to see.
Rory didn't have like initiations for you when you got there. No.
He was the nicest. When we played that next week, that was the coolest thing. It was just like playing with a normal guy. So,
I gotta know Patrick Reed.
never met him, so
Okay.
can't comment.
Oh.
Yeah,
Really?
Oh.
yeah, never met him.
Well, because you said everybody is.
Well, he's not on the PGA Tour.
Right.
I
anymore,
know,
so
but
those guys
I didn't
are,
know if you've crossed paths.
Oh.
No, I have not.
Are you guys allowed to have side action during a tournament?
I don't know if allowed is the right word.
Do you?
I personally don't.
You guys?
Yeah, I've heard of things. Yeah.
Yeah, they call that a
Absolutely.
Mickelson.
Yeah, I would say this is like in any practice round group. There's no way that anybody's playing a practice round without some kind of money on the line
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah,
Awesome.
even caddies.
Well, it's great having you on.
Yeah, man. Good
Yeah.
stuff.
Appreciate
We
it.
really appreciate it. And you'll be over there at the course today.
I'll be there all
Are
day.
you hitting with everybody on a hole or what?
I think so. I think they got me set up in a par 3. So I'm going through some shoulder rehab right now. So unfortunately, I can't not full swinging yet. But yeah, I'll be able to hit some shots.
Your gamer tag and Twitch. Everybody wants to know on Twitch.
Naptime_LTD.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And I will say this about having this interview with him. Like, my perception of golfers has changed because he's like a regular dude.
Yeah.
Where I thought most golf guys were like douchey, stuck up, from uppity places.
No douche.
But no, like he. Like
I think there's levels to us.
Right,
you
like
know?
you-
I grew up at a public golf course, so
Right. Like, yeah, you seem like,
Yeah.
you're just like, like you got to obviously climb your
Right.
way up the ladder.
I mean,
and
he's not
everything.
like DeChambeau.
I mean, I don't know who DeChambeau is, but just has that look. But, good luck
Wiggy
with
just
everything.
I appreciate you.
zero respect for the game, Wiggy.
Yeah, I'm not a golfer.
And
That's okay.
My son loves it, though. I'll
You're
tell
the
him I met
biggest
you.
critic
There we
out
go.
there, though.
Yeah, I am a critic when it comes to it, but
Right.
my son loves it. What you do is an unbelievable skill that you have to train and work at, and I give you credit for that. My
appreciate
son,
you.
youngest son, loves playing golf. That's all he wants to do. I don't know where he got it from because I can't stand it, but I have to give. Like the journey is interesting to see how long it takes most guys to get.
They are athletes, though. I mean, I think
No,
John
that's
Daly throws the whole equation out.
I think that's why I say that there's definitely a spectrum. Like there's guys that do play golf who are like crazy good athletes at a lot of different things, and you can kind of tell who those guys are. And then there's some guys who aren't. And I think that's the cool thing about the sport is it's all shapes and sizes, and there's all different types of people that do it.
Shime, no question from you today?
Right.
Well, I mean, you guys have been busy yapping his ear off, so I just didn't want to.
You want a little help with
I was
your
enjoying listening.
little help with your swing, or
Yeah, I mean, you are top 25 in distance off the tee, so I could use a little help gaining a couple yards off the tee.
Okay. I mean, get younger, swing it faster, work out a little bit more, all those good things. I'm trying to do that myself, but a little more distance. I mean, it's really just effort,
Yeah.
When it comes to swinging fast, you just got to swing it fast.
I take the old guy approach now, where I like bunt it out there, a couple hundred yards,
Yeah.
iron to the green, 2-putt, par.
It's kind of like old man basketball.
That's what the old guy. It's what the old guys
It's
do.
like when you're young, you drive in the lane, you're like getting rebounds, and then when you get older, it's like you stay outside, maybe set some soft
Learn a little bit,
screens.
A little more pump fakes.
Yeah.
Right,
Feet
very
stay on the
humble.
ground the entire
It's
time.
like the old bull who walks down the hill. The young bull runs down there. You know how that goes.
100%.
course, right?
Absolutely.
Yep.
That's the way it works.
Play within our
You're a
means.
bull that takes the escalator.
Yes. All right. Well, we'd love to have you on again.
Absolutely.
So,
I would love to.
Maybe
It's been great.
Talk to you when we get to the season. And,
100%.
Awesome.
Have him
All right.
out to
cool.
Granite Links.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should. Well, no, we should have him to. I'll take you to
Oh,
Granite
I know what
Links.
you're going to say.
Okay.
But I have a celebrity tournament. It's in Bermuda this year, so if
Okay.
you'd like to join us,
That would be awesome.
I don't
Yeah.
know
What are the dates on that?
It's in May, so
Okay.
but we'll figure. It's midweek.
All right.
I mean, can we do it?
When's golf season?
All year, unfortunately. Oh yeah.
It's all year.
January to about September usually.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll work out a trade deal like the Ducks did. Like
There we go.
I don't have a lot of cash.
Yeah.
But it's for my
It's a
charity.
very
Opportunities, you can call them.
It's a very
There we
fun
go.
trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the kids.
All right. How about a round of applause for Jake Knapp? Go get him.
Jake, that was great.
That was
Thank you,
really
guys.
good.
Go
Appreciate
get
it.
him.
That was great.
Go get him. We want you to. Now you got to win. So
Yes, sir.
You got to keep winning.
Yeah, and I'm
That we
watching
will.
now.
All right.
Okay,
That's my
look
man.
out. He's watching.